Welcome back to the Through the Lane podcast. Today we're only just going to be covering a released NFL and NBA rookie rankings. There's been technical issues past 2 weeks at Tech, so that's really why there's not been a main episode. It's been very frustrating. Hopefully this Thursday they work, but we're going to release an episode just covering the rankings now, just in case. Plus, the rankings just came out. I want to explain it. Starting off with the NFL one, I went the top three is Jaden Daniels, Brock Bowers, Malik Neighbors. Brock Bowers moves up because he has this was before this weekend. He moves up because he had a 13 catches, 123 yards, and a touchdown in receiving yards. So he's at 70 catches, 700 yards, 3 touchdowns on a terrible Raiders team. It looks good. He's played well. What more can you see? Jaden Daniels doesn't look the same. He's dealing with a little bit of an injury. It's kind of hindering him. And at some point, the league's going to catch up to this team. There's not much talent offensively in the receiving corps. They need another receiver desperately and probably a tight end. So they're going to be able to tee off on him. I put Quinion Mitchell, number 5. The reason why I put Quinion Mitchell there, and I didn't put his stats, he's holding opposing receivers under like 40 yards a game. And these are and he's guarding every team's number 1 receiver, and they play some big teams. He's playing really well. I can't find that stat. They showed it on ESPN. So that's why I didn't put it in there. Joe Walt at 6, just because he's been a dog. He's just been mauling guys on the line. And helping being that enforcer on the offensive line in a way, just holding up. He's going to be really good next year when he has another year under his belt. Another big one, Tyrone Tracy at 8. I think that's where he'll stay on the year, but he's been pretty good. Drake May is probably going to move up. I mean, he's about at 1,000 yards. He's got 9 touchdowns, 6 interceptions now. At this point, he had 954 yards. And it's not as like he has less stats, but it's the fact that they've won 2 out of the 3 games they played with. I think they're now 2-2 with him in it. When I released this, they were 2-1. As with him as their quarterback, that's huge. And it's not as much stats as it is him changing the culture in a way and how the offense is performing. I like what I like what I see from him. The turnovers are kind of bad, but also this is a terrible receiving corps, the worst one in the NFL. So Brian Thomas, he moves up because in another big week, probably over Marvin Harrison. Just because, he has 37 catches before week 11. I don't remember what he did in week 11. He had 37 catches, 607 yards, 5 touchdowns. It's a lot of deep throws, and he looks great. It's 11. Zach Frazier, the starting center now, the Steelers, like a 3rd-round pick, done well. McConkey, Keon Coleman, Bo Nix. Bo Nix had himself a game Sunday, and he will probably move somewhere in the top 10 maybe. He's climbing. I will probably revise these in 2 weeks because it's like finals time for me in school. So I don't have a lot of time. If I get ahead on homework, I might do it. I might do it tomorrow. Just move him up a little bit. Bucky Irving, I think he stays between 10 and 15. Him and Tyrone Tracy, guys that weren't picked high in this class as running backs and have done a great job. Bucky Irving, I didn't really realize how well he's done. Because he has some games where he doesn't run real well, but he's done well. Tyke Smith, back-to-back Buccaneers. 3 forced fumbles, 1 interception, 42 tackles, great. Caleb Williams, he's going to drop. Because, again, he scored no touchdowns. They said that he doesn't know the whole playbook, and it's damning. Well, I'll talk about it on Thursday when I record the episode in the studio. The offense does not look good with him. It looks like he doesn't understand the offense. It just doesn't look good with him under quarterback. He just he's trying to do too much and play not within his means. And so it's causing him to get sacked, causing plays to, break down in a bad way. Kind of like Josh Allen-esque, but I don't know. Carmine, me and him talked about it at work. He was like, yeah, there's what you were talking about with Caleb Williams, you're right. There's just something up there. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's maturity, understanding of the game, or if he just does not have that mental ability to do it. But it just doesn't look. He came in arrogant, and then he's gotten knocked on his feet. And he's had some rough weeks, and he has not recovered. Like, I'm not seeing him recover in a way. And this is a talented receiving core. Now, I get it, Shane Waldron was abysmal, and Matt Eberflus is terrible, but, I mean, that does not excuse, you have 3 really good receivers. You have DJ Moore, top receiver in the league. You have Keenan Allen, who was once a top receiver in the league within the past 3 years. Then you have Romeo Duzé, the 9th overall pick. Then you have a top 10 tight end in Cole Kmet. And then you have a top 15 running back in DeAndre Swift. It just doesn't make sense in a way. It's more on Caleb Williams. He's only completing 65.5% of his passes. It's just not doing that well. 18, Kamari Lassiter, 3 picks. And it mainly came off that one game against the Lions. But he's played well. He's their number 2 corner, starter. I like what I see. Dominic Pooney, the highest rated offensive lineman in this draft class as a guard. I kind of put him at 19 just because he plays on that 49ers offensive line with Trent Williams and all those guys. Braden Fisk, number 20, he's going to go up, actually. He now has, I think he collected 2 more sacks, which puts him ahead of Jared Verse, and Jared Verse is at 4. So Jared Verse and him, I don't know if I'm not switching him from 20 to 3 or 4, but he will probably be ahead of like Lassiter, Pooney, and Tyke. Romeo Duzé, 22. J.C. Latham, 21. Edgerrin Cooper's done pretty well for the Packers. Mike Sandstro, 1 pick. He's kind of played out of position. He's kind of had to play outside corner more. He's more of a slot corner. Got 1 pick. Tyler Nubbin for the Giants. I mean, they've got 3 guys on here. He has 43 tackles in the safety spot. Ray Davis. He's a second rookie because they have Keon Coleman. I have Keon Coleman at 13. He's missed some time, too. Keon Coleman has. That's why he's so low. He'd probably be higher up. But also, they kind of eased him into it. If you look at guys like Malik Neighbors, he's played 8 games and he has 607 yards receiving. That's the second most now of all rookie pass catchers. Brian Thomas has that much, and he's played the whole year. I think he maybe missed 1 game. Ladd McConkey, you play in that situation. I just like because he's been a dude. Like Saturday or Sunday, made a play when needed. He was there when needed, ran a crisp route. I like what he does. I view him as more of a high-end number 2, maybe number 1. I think he's just a better number 2. Ray Davis, 26. It's been great. A great backup running back for them. Xavier Legette. I put him up higher than Xavier Worthy, and they're about to switch because Xavier Worthy had a better game this Sunday. But Xavier Legette has 4 touchdowns. Pass catching touchdowns. The 2 rushing touchdowns for Xavier Worthy, just not huge for me. Javon Bullard at 28 and Kerryon Arnold at 30. That just had 2 good corners. Again, this receiver class, they talked about how it was deep. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 receivers in the top 30. They're all playing really well. You're seeing a lot of number 1 and number 2 receivers on teams. Then Brock Bowers. I said this coming into the draft. He was a generational talent. It was just because he's a tight end and Kyle Pitts burned everybody. But Brock Bowers is a guy that should have gone in the top 7. I guess positional. I get it, positional needs. But also, the Jets could have used him so bad. I mean, 580 yards, 700 yards now. The Jets would be a lot better offensively with him in the team than Tyler Conklin or other guys. Because he runs a great route. He's a guy you can feed the ball to. I mean, you can just force feed him, and he does great. But after week 11, the biggest riser would probably be Bo Nix, then Braden Fisk, Xavier Worthy a little bit. Yeah, and then Brock Bowers, I think right now the top 3, just because Malik Neighbors has missed some time, realistically. And for the voters, it's going to be Jaden Daniels, Brock Bowers, and Bo Nix. Bo Nix is probably going to be a 10. Probably drop Tyrone Tracy out. And maybe Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison, the 6 touchdowns, he's been more of a red zone threat. He's kind of eased in. He definitely looks like a number 1. Kyler Murray's just got to target him. But yeah, I think the top 3, how it's going to shake out down the end of the year, because Bo Nix is starting to catch fire, it's going to be Jaden Daniels, Brock Bowers, Bo Nix, Malik Neighbors. Those are going to be your top guys. Quinion Mitchell as a defense player, Jared Verse, maybe Brandon Fisk. Joe Alt looked good early in the year, but I mean, still he's the spotlight tackles. It's going to be hard. I mean, he'd have to allow 0 sacks, and him be that like top 10 rated tackle. I don't think he's top 10 rated tackle in football right now. But on to basketball. The rookie right now, the rookie of the year, and I think it's gone under notice, and it's kind of similar to what happened to a rookie a few years ago for them, Jared McCain. Kind of similar to Tyrese Maxey, where he gets thrusted in this role and he's catching fire. He has 14.8 points. Tyrese Maxey goes down, and they put him in the starting lineup, and he's dropping 30, 25, 38. He's going nuts, and it's efficient. He's shooting 47% from the field, 40% from 3, and he's not missing free throw. And right now, his average is 20 points per game. That's pretty good. They found their two guard of the future. They can build around him and Maxey if they want to get rid of Embiid. This team, I mean, that looks good. There's always a player that drops to the 20s. I think it was Desmond Bain. Then it was Maxey. There's always a guy that drops to the 20s that's a hit, like Tyler Hero. And I think that in the 76ers have hit 2 of them in the last 4 or 5 years with Maxey and now McCain. McCain looks good. Looks like a great shooter, great slasher. Second, Edey. And I was talking to one of my coworkers about this. The biggest thing with Edey is he can shoot a 3. And if he can shoot a 3, that fixes everything. And the view on Zach Edey changes all. And he's shooting 67, pretty much 68% from 3, 62% from the field. His free throw percentage isn't good, but 7 rebounds, 11.5 points, and only 20.5 minutes. That's pretty good on a Memphis team that is deep. This Memphis rookie class is pretty good. Because at 3, Jalen Wells, gives you 11.5 points. Now, lesser efficiency, 43%, 37 from 3. But he's playing 26 minutes a game. And then the number 1 overall pick, again, you're not really seeing the top 5 guys. The top 5 guys were viewed more as developmental guys. Zachary Richache, who's done great. I mean, he had dropped 30-something points the other night, but it's inefficient. 11.6 points, 1 steal, almost a block a game. Being that great 3-and-D player that he was projected his ceiling or his floor to be, I think he can be a lot more as his ceiling. But he's at his floor right now. He's a great 3-and-D guy. Struggles with efficiency, 37% from the field, 23% from 3. It's rough, but he's playing 27 minutes a game. He's going to come around, especially as the team gets healthy. I mean, the team's pretty much healthy just now. Bogdan came back, Hunter, all those guys. So he'll be kind of put in a lesser role. Doesn't have to take so many shots. Another guy I'm big on this Washington core. I mean, their 3 first-round picks are in the top 10. Is Carlton Carrington. 10 points a game, 5.5 assists, 4.5 rebounds, 1.3 steals. It's not the most efficient, but it's good. I like where it starts. The efficiency will get better. He's averaging 31 minutes per game. It looks good. Sarr, 10.5, 6 rebounds, 2.4 blocks, but it's very inefficient. He takes too many threes. And Keyshawn George, he was 6'2", last year. He is now 6'8", listed at 6'8". He grew 6 inches within 10 months. He's now playing power forward. It's great. It's great because he has those handles. He can take it to the basket. He can shoot. Just very inefficient right now. But again, this team is so bad that you can kind of play those guys. All 3 of them have high upside. Then you have Colby, their first-round pick from the year before. And then you have Corey Kispert, Jordan Poole. You've got a nice little young core there. Don Connect, love what he's doing on the Lakers. Exactly what they needed. He's shooting 38% from 3, 46% from the field, 8 points per game. He's not going to light it up, but he's going to knock down shots. And that's what he's done. He's been a breath of fresh air shooting-wise for them. Stephon Castle. The top 10, the top 9 is where the big rookies are. It's the big names. And then it's other guys who are kind of floating. Their roles are changing in a way, but at 8, Stephon Castle, 10 points, 3 assists, 1 steal. He's just now starting, but he has Chris Paul to mentor him. Again, 40% from the field, 28% from the 3. Not the most efficient, but again, it's still so early on in the season that he'll get. They haven't even played 15 games. I think 15 was last night. So, it's going to get better. These are streaks, 15-game streaks. So, but I like what I'm seeing from him. 10, Ryan Dunn, been great for the Suns. 7.4 points, 33% from three. Not the greatest, but he's a great defensive player. He's taking more shots. I think he's averaging more points than he did in college. I think he averaged around 5 or 6 points in college. That's massive, and he's doing it on not bad efficiency. 44% from the field. That's not terrible, especially for a rookie. 11, Kyle Filipowski. Weird. So they lose Taylor Hendricks, and they put Cody Williams at the 4, and he's so inefficient. I have him at 20. He's shooting 26% from the field, 16% from three, and it's rough. His offensive game we knew was lacking. We just knew it. His defensive game is where it's at, but he can develop a lot more offensively. But Kyle Filipowski then steps in at the 4, and he's shooting 58% from the field, 40% from three, and he's shooting 33% from the free throw line. But that's only in 18 minutes a game at his average. So that I put that in there to kind of validate their points and stuff. You'll probably see more as the season goes on. Missy for the Pelicans, he's had to step up, and he's done well with all the injuries. 6.8 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 1.2 blocks. I love what I see from him. Ron Holland, there's a lot of high upside there. He's going to be a developmental guy, but I like what I see. Only 6.3 points. Donovan Clingan looks great. 2.1 blocks a game. He's now starting. Yes, he's only averaging 15.8 minutes a game, but that's mainly because he just now started starting the games. It's going to be good. He's gonna be a future starting center for the Trailblazers. Asia Mitchell, two-way contract guy. He's played well. I mean, he's 5.4 points, two assists, 1 steal, 52% from the field, 46% from three in 16 minutes. Pilly Larson, another second-round pick, 5 points, 52% from the field, 42% from three in 14 minutes. He just now got put back in the rotation. He's really good. There's like what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 second-round picks in my top 20. Tristan De La Silva, he averages more than all the way up to Missy, but it's very inefficient. 38% from the field, 29% from three, 80% from the free throw line in 24 minutes. That's why it's so big. Then the 2 second-round picks for Toronto, Mugbo and Sheed, both averaging, Mugbo's averaging 4.6 points per game, Sheed's 5.0 or 5 points. Mugbo's been very efficient, 46% from the field, terrible three-point shooting. Sheed has been very inefficient as well, and then running out the top 20, Cody Williams. I think we'll see some guys like Reed Shepherd kind of climb up. He just hasn't played much and not shot well. Donovan Clingan's going to rise. Filipowski's probably going to rise. Don Connect might drop a little bit just because of his role. And so may Wells, just because the Memphis team is deep. But that's my explanation of the rankings. I'll update them either this week or next week and kind of have guys move up and down for NFL and NBA. But that's all for today's episode. Hopefully the Equipment Thursday works.